And finally, today I am going to share with you all the finger licking shrimp recipe. You can thank me later. Most of my friends who have visited my place have tried this recipe and they loved it. Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to my channel Homemade Happiness, and today I have the recipe of shrimp from the scratch. I am going to show you everything how to clean the shrimp and make it. And this recipe I have learned from my nanny when I was, I think, 16 or 17 years old. And yeah, this is how it's gonna be cleaned. You just have to push the back and then check in between so that you don't leave any nerves of shrimp inside, because that is the dirt. Every single time I have guests in my house, I make this recipe and this is super hit every time. Most of my family members know this recipe, and my friends who have ate, they just give me a call, ask for the recipe many times. So I just try to make this recipe on my YouTube channel to save them. So the first thing I did is I used the frozen shrimp because I couldn't really get the fresh ones here in Canada. And once I put them in the water for a few minutes, these are unfrozen and I am going to clean it just like that. As I said, it's very easy to clean the shrimps, and anyhow you are going to get the cleaned ones as well in India or anywhere else. And once the shrimp is all washed and cleaned, I am going to cut them into half just like that. You can just cook it just the way it is, it doesn't matter. I just want to cut it because the size is too big for me. This is a must try recipe for everyone because it doesn't take a lot of spices and it is going to be turned out so perfectly. You are going to love it. Moving on, here are the ingredients that we're gonna need for the recipe. Here I have taken the half kg of shrimp that are big in size, but I cut it into half. You can just use as it is if you want. And then I have 2 onions that I have chopped very finely. You can just mince them in very small pieces. For this recipe, it is important to chop the onions into small pieces. It should be minced. And then I have taken 3 to 4 green chilies. You can take as per your taste, less or more. And the next ingredients is the spring onions. I have taken 2 bunch of spring onions and 1 bunch of coriander leaves. And here I have 1.5 spoon of ginger garlic paste. And the only spices that goes in here is salt, red chili powder and turmeric powder, and the extra virgin olive oil. It's better to use the peanut oil that gives a lot of aroma in the recipe, but if that's not available, you can use whatever is available to you. Moving on, I am just going to take a saucepan and I'm going to start adding all the ingredients into it. First thing I have added is the shrimp, and then go ahead and add all the green masalas and the onions. This recipe is going to be very simple and very delicious as well. And once you have added all your green masalas and the onions, you are going to add the oil. I have added about 2 to 3 spoons of oil into it. You can add as per your taste. I would just suggest you not to add too much of oil. And then once you have added the oil into it, Add 1.5 spoon of salt into it. You can add the salt as per your taste. I would just suggest you to add less salt. If required, you can always add more. Once that's done, I am going to add 1.5 spoon of red chili powder as well, and this is a quarter spoon again. And then I have added the pinch of turmeric powder. It's just to avoid the raw smell in the shrimp. And then finally add in your ginger garlic paste that is kept aside, which is 1.5 spoon. Make sure you do not add more than that because it's gonna taste weird then. And then finally, once you have added all the ingredients into the recipe with the ginger garlic paste cup, you are going to add 1 and then 1/4 cup of water into it. And then finally stir nicely to mix up all the ingredients into the shrimp. We are only going to use the silicone or the wooden spoon here. Once that's done, cover the lid and keep it on the high flame for about 5 minutes. The only reason we are using the silicone or wooden spoon is because we don't want the shrimp to break out. Shrimp are gonna be very tender and it's gonna break out if you use the steel spoon. After 5 minutes of cooking, I am going to turn the flame into medium high. Open the lid and now we are going to stir our shrimp just like that. Just give it a nice stir and make sure all the spices are mixed together. And once that's done, we are going to keep the flame on the medium and cook it for about 15 minutes. Just make sure to keep checking in the middle and keep stirring as well to make sure the recipe did not stick on the bottom of the pan. After 15 minutes of cooking, this is how our recipe looks like. This is obviously gonna be the hit recipe of shrimp. We need to cook the shrimp until all the water in the shrimp absorb into this recipe and the oil started to showing up. We are going to cook it for about few minutes, like 2 to 3 minutes, until the recipe absorbs all the water. This recipe takes about 20 to 25 minutes. It's just a little time consuming, but the recipe is very easy. After 3 more minutes of cooking the shrimp, it's ready to serve. The water is completely absorbed in the recipe and looks delicious. Just turn off the flame and now we are going to serve it hot. This recipe tastes delicious with any kinds of roti, naan or chapati, paratha. This goes with anything or everything. You can just call it as an authentic village style shrimp recipe. Just let me know in the comment section what do you think about this recipe. I hope you liked today's video. If you did, give me a like, share, subscribe and comment down in the comment section. And thank you so much to all my lovely fam of YouTube who have subscribed and supporting me. I'll be back with another recipe or a different kind of a video on my channel very soon. Thank you so much for watching guys. Bye bye.